Hi. The APA Dictionary of Psychology defines burnout as physical, emotional, or mental exhaustion accompanied by decreased motivation, lowered performance, and negative attitudes towards oneself and others. It results from performing at a high level until stress and tension, especially from extreme and prolonged physical or mental exertion or an overburdening workload. There's more, but I'm reading off a screen, not off a book. This thing is completely blank. Basically, what I wanted to say is burnout's something that most people will experience at some point in their life. It usually occurs when you're stressed out, from work, school, just like the definition said. We also experience it minorly whenever we, expose ourselves to something too often. For example, one of the things that I loved the most, or I did love the most, was massaman curry. It was my favorite food. It was the most flavorful, creamiest, and most filling dish I've ever had, and I really thought I could eat it every single day for the rest of my life. But after a week or two, I stopped looking forward to having it, I stopped ordering it, I stopped making it. It just became too much. It was too much flavor, it was too much spice. I couldn't stand it anymore, and I had no interest in it. That can be considered burnout. Now, where I experience this most is not from work, but it's actually from video games. For example, Marvel Rivals. Now, Marvel Rivals has shaken up the playing field, and it's been a dominant hero shooter with an IP behind it that's probably more recognizable than the President of the United States. I seriously think more people would be able to recognize Spider-Man than they could recognize, President Dwight D. Eisenhower. See, that's not even Eisenhower, that was Wilson. This is Eisenhower. And to anyone who actually caught me and knew it was Wilson, no, you didn't. Anyways, all that to say that Marvel Rivals has absolutely shattered expectations, even my own. I wasn't really interested in it until I saw Iron Fist, as I always wanted a martial arts character in Overwatch, and that was enough to pull me in. And while I don't play Iron Fist much anymore, it was the other characters and the story and the community and the incredible game mechanics, but not the optimization, that kept me playing all these months later, when everybody estimated that the game would only last a month or two. I was happy to see that Marvel Rivals was proven to the doubters wrong and booming beyond belief, and that was until I noticed that I wasn't enjoying playing the game, and I kept losing my games, and they felt unwinnable, and I climbed all the way to Celestial 1 playing Captain America, and it just got to a point where I didn't want to play. Even the games that I won felt stressful and like I was working too hard to squeeze one out in the end, and while my teammates were just standing around, with their onks in their hands. And it wasn't just me. You guys reached out letting me know you were feeling the same way I was, and I began to worry that maybe the doubters were right. Maybe this game wouldn't make it, maybe it would flop. I had to take a break from the game despite it being my main form of content, and I was struggling to sit down and play it, and then it finally hit me as I was loading up and getting ready to stream that the answer was simple. I was burnt out. Yeah, I know, who would have guessed that putting 300 hours into a game that was released in December would do that to you? I would do the math on that, on how many hours a day that is. I don't want to know. I messed around for a few weeks, my uploads fell off and my streams started to become inconsistent, and at one point I hadn't even touched the game in over a week, which isn't that long, but when you make content on the game, it's a pretty long time. But with the recent announcement of Season 2 and a break, I feel invigorated and excited to play the game, and so I wanted to share a couple of things that I did while taking a break from Marvel Rivals that helped me start to miss and appreciate the game. If you feel like you're getting burnt out and don't have much time to play anymore or don't want to make the time, this video's for you. So, just first things first, this is all just my opinion, this is my own personal experiences that I'm going to be sharing with you on how I personally dealt with burnout, okay? So this isn't professional, this isn't a cure-all guide to dealing with it, this is just what I did, personally. First and foremost, playing other games is the go-to. This was my go-to, and it's the most obvious answer in my opinion. If you're burnt out on a single game, in this case, Marvel Rivals, but still have the urge to play something, then do it. Play something else. Don't force yourself to get on and play a game that you're just starting to have less and less fun on. Even if all your friends want you to get on, or you're just on the cusp of a rank up, just take a break. Go play something else. Me personally, I found myself playing Minecraft the most. For me, it was the complete opposite of Marvel Rivals, super fast and intense gameplay. While Minecraft can be intense on its own, I spent most of my time just running around, relaxing, and harvesting resources for my builds, and it was just some of the most fun I've had in a long time. And it was definitely nothing compared to holding down the point in overtime as Captain America 1v6, and it was a much needed break. The other game I turned to was, Overwatch 2, our best friend and our closest companion. Now, I know that the Marvel Rivals community doesn't exactly like Overwatch, or at least the vocal majority don't, and I was the same for a long time, but lately, after many changes to how Overwatch works as a whole, it's been significantly more playable and enjoyable. Now, do I enjoy Overwatch more than Rivals? Not necessarily, but you don't only have to play one of them. Overwatch has things to offer that Rivals doesn't, a completely different gameplay loop as well as different metas, less sustain, higher burst, and best of all, Doomfist. I love that character, he's super fun for me, he's the character I've played the most, but not to mention, with the new 6v6 mode finally being added into competitive, me and my tank main friend are actually able to run what we always wanted to do since Overwatch 2 got released, is running Zarya and Tankfist, and it's been an absolute blast. And, you know, Overwatch glazing aside, since I want to save that for its own video, I really do recommend that if you're getting burnt out from Marvel Rivals, maybe go spend some time on Overwatch. Especially if you came from that game, just give it a try again. If you enjoy it more, you enjoy it more. If you enjoy it less, you enjoy it less. But you can always alternate in between multiple games, especially when they're from the same genre. You don't only have to support and play one, right? Now, I know Battle.net and Blizzard as a whole has really shit the bed and dropped the ball too many times, but it really seems like they're picking up slack now that they finally have competition. And if you're a Marvel Rivals player, competition is the best thing that can happen to us. And so while that might work for some people, sometimes when you get burnt out from something like a video game, it can make every other video game feel the same way. If you're feeling burnt out from gaming as a whole, I got 2 suggestions for you. Either look around and find games that are interesting to you instead of playing the same slop you've been playing for years and over. Try a sandbox game, or a story game, or maybe an RPG, a fighting game, something different, something new, something fresh. Shake it up when it's getting stale. I personally love fighting games, and if I were to recommend anything, it would be any of the Tekken games, actually. And, you know, even if Tekken 8's reputation isn't the greatest right now, I think playing it at a semi-casual level is super fun, and I highly recommend that you guys check it out. Or, and this is the easiest solution for a lot of you, even if you don't want to hear it, stop playing games. Take a break and go touch grass. Now, I know you're looking at my fat ass and thinking, there's no way this guy just told me to touch grass, but seriously, it's gonna help. Going outside and going places, to the store, clothes shopping, thrifting out with friends, or even just on a walk with some music or a podcast, just finding other ways to fill your time, picking up a hobby, do anything but just getting on the game after school or work. And if you don't miss it, you don't, and you can get on every now and then, but I guarantee the majority of you are going to get bored out of your mind doing those mundane tasks, since, you know, we've all fried our dopamine receptors, and eventually you'll come back to the games you know and love. And I'm one to talk, I can't even eat without YouTube playing in the background, but a reset helps with that. Think of it like a detox from the thing that's been taking up so much of your time. I recently adopted a dog. His name is Remy, and he's been a huge investment in both time and money, and I love him to death. Taking him on walks every day gets me out of the house, even though I also work full-time sometimes. I still feel like I spend too much time at home, especially since me and my girlfriend are both homebodies. So if you got an animal, try spending more time with them. And I know this seems kind of random, but Remy's only been with me a month and a half, and I seriously feel like he's been so beneficial to my mental and my physical health as well. Also, small aside, you guys' continued support is helping to pay for Remy's heartworm treatment, as he recently tested positive. So I seriously just want to thank you guys for that. It means more than you can know, and I love this little guy to death. Another thing I've personally done to make sure I'm not wasting my life on the computer is ensuring that I only play for at most 2-hour intervals before taking a long and always much needed break. I usually end up getting off around an hour or an hour and a half mark, and I end up feeling pretty good afterwards. Limits in general are a great thing, especially when you're doing something like a hobby. For example, after 2 losses, I'll usually just get off, and for me, it's just because 2 losses usually spells how the rest of the session is going to go, at least in my experience and my opinion. But I don't need to force myself to queue over and over just so I can get more and more upset. And the only exception to this is being when I'm like streaming, because, you know, it would suck if I just ended stream out of nowhere after 2 losses. But if I've been playing for, you know, an hour and a half and I'm streaming and I lose 2, you gotta go watch the VOD. Now, you might also struggle with dealing with toxic players, which everybody does from time to time, and it really just depends on how you react to it. Personally, I love to engage, and I love to troll and just get in arguments with people, but that's fun for me, and I know that's not the case for many people. It can be degrading and discouraging to keep playing, especially when people are yelling in your ear telling you you're playing bad. But remember that the mute button exists. You can always silence text chat and mass chat as well. And, you know, communications in the voice chat. You have the power to moderate and control your own gaming experience, so if it affects you, take advantage of it, especially if you find yourself regularly on the other end of the stick for getting shit for your gameplay. And again, these are all just things that I've personally dealt with and experienced. This video is a bit scattered and rushed since it was just a small topic I wanted to ramble about. Or, you know, maybe I should say I just wanted to rant about it. You know, rusty rants. long story short, burnout happens to everyone. I know. I rambled for this entire video, and I just hope that you heard something that I said and that it clicked and it helped. I wasn't really sure how to format this video, so I just kind of sat down and started going. Either way, if you made it to the end of this video, I appreciate you guys, and I hope everybody has a fantastic day. And once again, I just want to thank everybody for their continued support. Like I said, you guys are helping me pay for my dog's life-saving treatment, and I couldn't be more grateful. I promise the quality of videos is going to be going up as well while I work on more videos like this. Thank you guys. Take care. YouTube thinks that you might like these videos, so go ahead and check them out. Let me know if you do like them. And just a reminder, I do stream on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, so I do it right here on YouTube. And if you're here already, you might as well come check me out. Appreciate it if you do. I hope everybody has a great night, and I'll see you guys next time.